friends, enemies, frenemies, and everybody else in between. I have had sex with multiple strangers in the past 2 weeks, more than I've ever had probably in my lifetime in a 2-week period. Now, I'm saying this as sort of an analogy because I relate pretty much my life to, it's a microcosm of what's really going on in the world. And I'm just trying to do my part. I'm trying to do the things I need to do to get back to reality, right? Your reality might be going to, Carl's Jr. And now you can go in there without a mask, maybe. In my life was thrown upside down, as you've heard in many of these different episodes. But I'm sharing this not to brag, not to actually, it could be very sad if you look at it through a different lens, not my lens. But if you look at it through another lens, maybe you're saying, oh, this poor man, what's he searching for? I get that. Maybe I am searching for something, but aren't we all? And maybe to you, you're also looking at it like, man, I wish I did live that life. And true, that could be very possible, but you can, as long as you're not creepy, as long as you, wash, bathe, you too can have the multiple strangers, sex partners that I had in the past 2 weeks. So maybe the grass isn't always greener, but as far as I'm concerned, it's getting greener and greener and greener. The lawn's growing and it's healthy. But then there's also, like I said, there's a couple of you out there that are probably saying to yourself, what a piece of garbage. He's a whore. He's a man with no scruples. He just goes and does problems. He creates more problems than really he should in his life. And that could be true, very much, very, very true, because as you've heard from other podcasts, I have dipped my pen in the company ink, not company ink, in society's ink, maybe a little too much. And, things happen. But so far, so good. Knock on wood. There's no hang-ups. I think I selected the right individuals that I chose to be a part of my life in a very intimate setting. And I think what happened was the first one started off this back-to-life mentality. I mean, almost to the point of, I want to make this person my friend with benefits, maybe. But then the next day came. And that insatiable appetite when that person wasn't there went out and had another situation unfold that was absolutely wonderful. I mean, every some better than others. I can't say that. But each one of them have their own special, unique talent. And I think that the anxiety of it all, the anticipation, the lust, the satisfaction, the complimentary words that were thrown my way. I mean, I'm in a great space right now. I don't even know, is there a COVID still out there? Because I don't care, because we've been living in fear for way too long, and I had to get back to my basics. Hopefully you are too. Hopefully you're doing what you did before. Maybe that included that, or maybe you're still scared of things or whatnot. But if now is the time to start opening up that system that is so toxic to everybody else, violent in nature. If you just turn on Netflix, everything is about murder and whatnot. And many of the video games are about horrific situations that you wonder why there's school shootings. Mine is a much more loving attitude, a much more you have to learn how to do with people. Each time you have sex with a different person, that is a much harder skill set than just maybe playing video games with your friends or by yourself, probably more than not. So I'm getting back to my basics, and pretty much every minute of it I did love. I can't say really anything bad about that. And I think that we did more of this, if we did fuck other people that are strangers, maybe we wouldn't be so caught up in the minutia of, is Dr. Fauci coming out with a new Delta variant protocol? I don't think that's really on the radar anymore. I think that we're now over that situation. And yes, vaccinated or not, people are still getting it, even if they're vaccinated. Who knows? But nothing's happened to them. The society at large is now getting back to our roots. I mean, there's Haitians coming over here that want to live the life of but I'm not sure. I think the Haitians probably they're going to come here and they're going to find out that they had more sex over there than they ever will here, because we'll probably be a bunch of jerks to them, and like we have been already. And I'm not, you know who probably will be the biggest jerk of them all to these Haitians, or probably the one person is going to email me at steven.whocaresthepodcast.com. The one person, or the multitude of people that will not want the Haitians to be here and not want me to have sex. That person, I think that person is the person that tortures themselves on a daily basis and goes to Starbucks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Who Cares Podcast.
Welcome to the Who Cares Podcast, a podcast that enters your soul with your host, Stephen Moraga.
Now, I'm saying all this because of the fact that it was pleasurable. And if you have the opportunity, I've never met a man that's 80 years old or elder, because I always look to mentors in my life. I don't usually look to younger people, no offense, younger people, or people my own age, because my own age is a bunch of fucked up people as well. And I am younger too. So we're all been living in this society that our government and people like us created, which is not a very good one, I guess, because it's not a very good quality of life. I mean, if you live here in the United States, it's a better quality of life than the Haitians had, I guess. But maybe the Haitians didn't realize how nice they had it. I bet you they had it pretty carefree, except for the fact of maybe clean water, or maybe more the ability to get killed easier. But those are usually individuals that play in the gray area. Now, if you live in Haiti, you would think, well, probably you would have to, right? Because what are you going to be, poor? Like, similar to Mexico. What are you going to live your life a poor goat herder or whatever they do in Haiti? Maybe they take care of other animals or something. You're going to do that, or you're going to get into a life of crime or whatever you want to call it, and drug dealing or whatever. And it's an exciting life. And yeah, you may die at 27 or 26, but wasn't that a great life, right? And I think that what we're doing here is we're trying to promote longevity for people that really aren't having a good time. Are you having a good time? Would you want to live for the next 60 years, living like you're living right now, when you're not able to congregate together in a space, and you're not able to have sex with multiple strangers? No, you have to be a futurist, and you have to think, well, wait a minute. When I'm 80 years old, and like I said, I've never met an 80-year-old man or an older man that has ever told me that he wished that he had less sex in his life. I don't care if the guy has AIDS. I guarantee you he probably had a great fucking time doing it. So you have to get back to basics is all I'm saying. You just have to get back to the basics of life. And the basics are, I like you this moment. You're attractive to me. You like me, of course. Looks are fleeting. Let's get this done now.
Enters your soul.
And I think that the people from Starbucks that love Starbucks, that make it a routine or accept they're not just getting fucked, because if they're getting fucked, there's many people the past 2 weeks that would agree that getting fucked is kind of nice. But when you look at it, if you're just giving money for a sip of 10-cent coffee and you're paying exorbitant amounts at prices that should not even register as a thought process in your universe, you might want to take a step back. You might want to say, why? Why am I waiting in this line? Why am I waiting in this drive-through that probably could be probably destroyed? We really don't need the drive-through people at Starbucks either, because they weasel their way out into the plaza. Usually the drive-throughs that Starbucks creates is not enough space for everybody else that has businesses around there, and I'm sure it's annoying to people. But more than that, the people inside Starbucks, you have the people on one side, these baristas that they're actually kind of excited if they're under the age of 30. If you're over the age of 30 and you're a barista, you're going, what the fuck happened to my life? If you're under the age of 30, you're like, well, this is cool. I'm meeting new people. I'm learning a skill set. Maybe I'll open up my own coffee house someday, like the big dork Howard Schultz did, who he stole that idea, back when it wasn't. He didn't call it Starbucks or anything, and he stole the mermaid, siren, whatever you want to call her, the logo. Who that logo also represents. I don't know if you want to take a look at it, go through history, and take a look at what the siren represents. The siren represents people taking them to hell, basically, and so that's nice. That's cool. I think that really represents what you're actually doing when you go to the establishment called Starbucks. Starbucks is, to me, the most absolutely, true representation of society at this very juncture, because there is so much fear in Starbucks. And I know this because I went and did the things that you, as a listener, we have the smartest listeners. I know that. I know you guys don't. Well, maybe you do once in a while go into Starbucks. And that's okay. But you're not one. I hope to God you're not one of these. And if you have an opinion about this, please, by all means, Stephen, whocaresthepodcast.com. And that's how we got Richard, who is a loyal listener, very intelligent man. And he's going to be talking. We interviewed him. He's going to be talking about his love of Starbucks, and he makes some very valid points. And we'll see if he sways me on my opinion. I'm just giving you an overview of why we started to talk about this, because sex does equate to happiness, and Starbucks equates to, I guess, happiness too, like sex in the moment. Both of which are just memories. I mean, but I guess you won't get an STD that lasts a lifetime from Starbucks, but you could from sex. But besides that, the benefits from having sex are far outweigh the cup of Joe or Java or whatever you want to call it from Starbucks. So I understand. Where is this going, Stephen? What are we supposed to take away from this? Well, I'm telling you right now, we're having this segment. It's going to be maybe periodically, maybe each and every month, we'll have at least one episode dedicated to this. Stephen does not understand the idiocy that so many of you partake in. And I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying, for once, I missed this addiction. I don't know what it is. I understand coffee is a fantastic, it's a fantastic beverage that's been passed down through generation upon generation, from the, I don't know, whatever, settlers to Native Americans to people from obviously the Chinese, what is that? The trade route, whatever that was, that we should know about. The salt and trade and coffee bean route, refried bean route. No, that wasn't refried beans, coffee beans. So yeah, so I understand that. And the aroma of, a lot of times, just like everything else, just like maybe even thinking about sex, the aroma of a coffee is usually far better than the actual taste. Isn't that ironic that it probably could hold true in both sectors, sex and coffee? But at least with sex, you know what you're getting, and you get a feeling that is, well, everything pretty much runs on sex. It doesn't run on coffee, because every man would still be living in a cave, and women, there'd be a lot less of them probably, because men would probably be gay, and they would just, because if they didn't have sex, well, yeah, there wouldn't be any women, because I guess according to scripture, Jewish scripture, and I guess Catholicism and Christianity all believe that, God made a man. So if there was no sex, we would probably still be living in caves. What other kind of world would we have if we did not have sex as a goal? It inspires. It definitely inspires. It inspires you. It also humbles you, because just because there was multiple partners, I'm talking multiple, the past 2 weeks, more than, it set a record for me. And I am so happy that I want to share this with you, because it's taken me out of sadness a little bit. I didn't realize that I was kind of sad before, the COVID thing and then also like that we have a bunch of idiots that are baby boomers running this country. So don't tell me the other older generation was much smarter and better and all that. No, they're pieces of shit. They actually put us all in this situation. Thanks a lot. You killed John F. Kennedy, or you didn't kill him, but your parents did. And then greatest generation, my ass. Yes, they fought brilliantly and admirably in World War II. Then something happened. They I don't know what they did. They molested their kids, or they poisoned their kids' brains, and then they became hippies, and then they just wanted to fuck, but they didn't want to really they didn't just do the fucking, they tried to be activists against the country that had been given them everything. And I understand the Vietnam War, that is ridiculous. So our government actually gave them everything, then took it away. So it all goes back to that. Government, baby boomers, they fucked up. They really did. They had a really nice life, and then they started to get weird and start making what they thought was technology, and they thought it was going to be better. But then the dorks of that generation is what they were, who nobody talked to, nobody liked. They decided to take their revenge upon us, and now this is what we have. Get your voice heard. When everybody is out there on the streets just waiting to go viral, you have another opportunity, and that is to come to anchor.fm. Download the free Anchor app and join us here at the What's the Play family. And make sure that you DM us here, Steven, at Who Cares the Podcast, or go to info@whatstheplay.net so you can join our family. We'll promote the shit out of you. We will promote everything about you. Make sure you're cool. We're not going to promote some of you weirdos. We're going to make sure we promote you, because everybody needs their voice to be heard. Everybody during this time needs that voice, right? Don't you need that voice? You can go global tomorrow. Just join anchor.fm. Go to anchor.fm to get started, all right? But make sure more than all that you join the What's the Play family. Info@whatstheplay.net will help you set it up. Will help you go through all the situational things that you need to do. And tomorrow morning, we'll make sure that you get your voice heard. We have these motherfuckers outline companies becoming the heads of companies when they never should have been, and dictating a agenda that comes from their dork nature. And then they pass that down to non-dorks. People now there's really no more dorks anymore. But you got to understand, people, back when there used to be some real fucking dorks, because they didn't have the internet to get some style or get some ideas or kind of learn how to assimilate, or just shut the fuck up and just stay in their house. I mean, that could be cool too. We don't want you part of society. These motherfuckers actually had to be where they were forced to go to school and try to assimilate. And these were legitimate dorks, like boogers on their jeans. I saw it. And now these are the people running all of our tech companies, or at least the philosophy of those fucking dorks now really permeate through everything. And that's why there's no ability to have a phone number now. You cannot call any of these companies, because you know why? They don't like confrontation. And I learned that the hard way when I got into tech. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on over here? I got the information. I said, well, let's just call them and let's go. Oh, no, we can't call them. We got to, okay. Well, let's email. And then once I started talking to them, I said, listen, you fucking dork, this is really what we're doing. Don't try to punish us. We're just in the pursuit of this new venture as well. Sorry we didn't have 15 years of Dungeons and Dragon training. We want to understand what we need to do to curb this? No, sorry. You know what? You're deplatformed. I'm deplatformed for what? What did I do? Wait, what? Yeah, I'm sorry. You can fill out this form and maybe somebody will get to you, and that's about it. That's Google, by the way. I'll even call them out right now. Yeah, they took away our ability to make money on AdSense at a very this is about 3 or 4 years ago, and from there, I mean, it's been an uphill battle ever since. And I feel that probably they're listening right now and they're probably saying, I'm not a dork. Fuck him. I'm not a dork. I'm not. Yeah, you're a dork. You are. The upper echelon of that company and the idea of it, very, very grandiose and very admirable. However, you're still implementing your head in the trash can philosophies. You do not want to see other people really succeed. And you want to control them because this is kind of your way of getting back at them. When all we really want to do is have couple weeks like I did, and just make love. Make love, make money in a positive manner, and not try to be an ultimate ruler. But they've gotten away with it because of a lot of factors. They are probably arms of the government, which we've seen. Twitter admitted to being a back channel to the U.S. government. They actually had one of their top executives say that actually their banning of people on platforms is an arm of, because if the government is going to do it, they will use Twitter to pretty much silence you. And maybe it's only a matter of days before this podcast gets taken off. I don't know. But if one of these dorks would have had, at least one of the partners that I had this week. Actually, a couple of them stayed a little too long, and that's the problem too, because we really don't want to get that. And it is what it is. Let's not talk too much about our hopes and dreams and stuff. Let's keep it. The whole thing about having sex with different people is to keep it different. And so pretty much like Google, I guess you want to keep getting different pieces of data. You're not always, totally stoked about that one piece of data. You want multiple pieces to confirm or deny that you really want that person or you really want that piece of data. So say, well, on cue, what do you know? Yeah, that might have been one of the people right there. But what I can tell you is this: we need to make each other better. And it starts obviously with ourselves and being happy with ourselves and not allowing outside influences to influence your inner soul. I'm fine with who I am. Are there things I can tweak and things I can, obviously, right? I might be searching for something, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I searched for it. I found it. Am I that much happier? Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but I kind of am. Am I that shallow? No, I know that. But I am shallow at some points. I mean, we're not black and white like the world wants to make us. We're not a Democrat. We're not a Republican. We're not this. I mean, when it comes to maybe a football game, yes. But we're not one or the other. There's so many different layers to us. And for us to produce a narrative that we either like this or we don't, and you have to be beholden to this or beholden to that, really complicates issues that shouldn't be complicated. We are not pigeonholed into liking one thing or the other. Yes, killing a person is bad. However, killing a person that raped your mother might not be too bad. I would if I was on the jury, I would say, of course, he's not guilty. So that's kind of where we're at. Everybody wants us to say, oh, we don't like homosexuality, but we do. Well, there's layers to that. We don't like heterosexuality, or we do. But there's layers to that. There's divorce rate is crazy because now women and men both now feel that they have options, or they don't. But they're getting empowered, and if certain situations happen in a heterosexual marriage, it's very easy for them to break off. So really, is marriage on either side of the coin? Why would homosexuality or homosexuals want to get married? I would really advise against that. I think they got the right thing going over there. I think it causes much more harm than good. There are certain people that need to be married that are good people and want to raise families together. The majority of which I don't know. I don't know them. I have not seen too many of these supposed couples that don't have lust in their eyes. I see it all the time. I see it when I go anywhere. The girl constantly, almost as if she's begging me to save her, like from this kidnapping, but she's just in a marriage. And I say, girl, just we'll meet back, like with my eyes, of course, or maybe with, a piece of paper, or maybe I have a large phone, so maybe I write it and I say, it'll pass. You just, here's my address. If you ever want to like get away, because I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to create something that's right now not there. And that could be just for right now. Maybe there's a time when we'll all be monogamous and we'll all be able to send our kids to school when they don't have to do school shooting drills. Maybe we will be able to send our kids to school when they don't be made fun of or something, or they're not bullied. I don't know whenever this utopia is going to happen, but it's not going to happen in yours and mine's lifetime. I guarantee that. I don't think that that's ever going to happen because people are what they are. There's pieces of shit. There's pieces of goodness. And everybody else kind of fucking falls in between those cracks. And what we need to do is we need to start somewhere. And I think that somewhere is Starbucks. Because Starbucks is kind of a microcosm of all that is, I don't want to say wrong, of all that is confusing. Because you have people that look semi-professional on the outside, but are complete morons, obviously, for going there every day on the inside. Now, I'm not saying my friend Richard is like that, because he seems to be a very level-headed man, and he seems to get more out of Starbucks than he gives. But that's my job to tell him what I think, and maybe it'll open his eyes to it, and maybe he'll open my eyes to why Starbucks could possibly be a great thing for people. But I look at it more like this. I had a unfortunate job of having to sit there and watch the lunacy that is Starbucks. I took it upon myself. We had a meeting here at Think LLC. I raised my hand. I said, I will do the job that doesn't want to be done. You know what I'm going to do? We need content, right? Let's try and find content. So my idea was to work for a DoorDash or a Postmates or a Uber Eats. So I took Postmates, and I figured that I would deliver to many beautiful girls, maybe just getting a drink, a boba drink or something. And then all of a sudden the passion would hit, and then I can ask them about that. Then we could content, we can film it, whatever. That was my idea. But it's probably really what I found out was absolutely the wrong idea, because all the hot girls that did ordered in their pajamas, and they did not want to see anybody good looking. In fact, the blood rushed out of their face when I did come to the door, and then they grabbed their shit and they just ran, because they are ordering from Postmates, so they don't have to be out in the open and just nibble on things. They ordered, whatever, the Baconator. They ordered the list goes on and on. Chicken nuggets, 20-piece. Large, not Diet Coke, large Dr. Pepper. I mean, it was outrageous. And I think what happens is they binge, and then they may sleep it off maybe, or they, what do you call it? Purge. Ugh. That's what they do. And I don't know, because there's no way that this girl can be doing that every morning. And that's the majority of them. That just happens. So I thought, well, this content is not going to be too entertaining for people. So what happens along the way, I was getting orders at Starbucks, and I never had ever seen this particular animalistic society that actually inhabits Starbucks. Starbucks has created a culture based on 10-cent horrible coffee. My Keurig is better coffee than this. And it forced everyone to, I don't know what kind of pixie dust or angel dust that they place within the coffee to make you think that it's actually good or that it's on time, because nothing, and you're going to say, Steven, of course, who the fuck are you to say this? Because Howard Schultz and Starbucks has a gazillion $1 billion business. You're right. I'm just observing. I am fascinated at the fact that anybody would actually pay money to torture themselves the way that I'm watching everyone be tortured. Now, with Postmates, you have a credit card, so you order the same way everybody does, and you tell them their name is Steven. Okay, great. Yeah, that's great. And I order, whatever. Maybe there's a bagel on top of it, and then there's some coffee, right? To my surprise, Steven gets called real fast because the girl places the frozen bagel that's been sitting out, or whatever, a bagel that's been sitting out for a while, along with those Hot Pocket things, whatever they have, that they name like some French name to make it sound a little better. They throw that out real fast. And then you sit there and you grab that. You're thinking, okay, well, is my coffee here too? And the barista looks at you like I'm an idiot, because you got to understand he's doing a tremendous volume of fucking coffees. So you don't want to mess with his whipped cream or his foam. You want to allow him to foam right. So I sheepishly grabbed my bagel and I sat there, and I also saw a man named Javier grab his bagel. Luckily, my drinks came up, and I also saw another subset, which is called the fat office girl who's supposed to get everybody's coffee, and she has no idea how she's going to get into her car. It's a lot of work for her, especially when things are coming out so random that you have no idea. And all these people are looking around this small little area. They choose a hoarse-voiced vocal fry person to say people's names. So when Jennifer may say, "Is that my name?" No, we called Michelle. What are you talking about? No, it's Heather. Oh, God, it sounded like Jennifer. I mean, the chaos, and all these people are leaning. I don't know if they understand that they're actually doing some sort of yoga, because their legs are straight, but the torso is extended forward, with drool, with anticipation, along with their cell phone blowing up, because they're probably wondering, where the fuck are you? You have a meeting at 9, and they go, they're thinking in their head, oh God, I didn't really realize that it was going to take this long. Oh, you didn't realize it? How long have you been coming to fucking Starbucks for? From 6:30 to 10 o'clock, it's a goddamn shit show. So I'm watching this, and Javier got his bagel right when I did. And all of a sudden, I saw, before Javier made a big deal about not getting his coffee, what did I see? I see a lot of stragglers come in, maybe semi-homeless to homeless, maybe a little cleaner homeless. Maybe they took a shower that day. We are by the beach. They have those showers, But then there's also some college kids or high school kids. They don't give a fuck. And they probably grab Javier's drink. Or maybe it was just poor Heather thought that was her name and she grabbed it. But by the time she gets to her car, she looks at it. She's like, oh, fuck it. Javier will get another one, right? Well, Javier, I heard, had to be to a meeting. And this poor guy, he'd been waiting his time, and he had to go to the lady. He had to go ask her, what's going on with my order? Oh, well, let me get on that. Let me go ask the guy that's super fucking busy making phone for everybody, because I'm sure he remembers every name that he said during this whole time period. Hey, Trev, do you happen to notice Javier? What? Javier. What about him? Did you happen to say Javier? I don't. You know what? Actually, yeah. Javier, yeah. We already called that a long time ago. Oh, I'm sorry, Javier. Why weren't you listening? Because I got my bagel. Maybe he called it that. I don't know. There was a lot of people. I mean, I don't know. Can you just please make me another one? Because I have to be to my meeting. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make this one time for you. Okay? We're going to make this one time. But you got to do what you do, and you got to listen. Okay? This takes two here. It takes a community. It takes a coffee community. A community of Java. A community we like to call a cup of Joe, where we interact together. We're doing our part, and you got to do your part, Javier. Okay? Okay. We're going to make this for you. But just please, if you get back over there and see where all those people are at, leaning over there? If you could just go back over there and maybe take a seat if you can find one, and we'll call your name again. That's what I witnessed. And that is only one episode, one particular time that I went to Starbucks. And what do you know? I thought that was maybe an enigma. I saw that over and over and over and over again. However, there is a bright, shining light at the end of this story. We'll have you listen to that. It's our interview with Richard. Now, Richard is a longtime listener, first-time caller, because of the fact that he's emailed us periodically, liked our stuff, and we ended up forming a friendship, so to speak. And I felt that he would be a very genuine person to talk about it, and I don't want to discount his opinion. The reason why I have him on here is because he seems like a totally different individual than the Neanderthals that I saw. I even saw people arguing over it. I've even seen them arguing over the cheese and salami pack that they have. I mean, it is amazing. But what I really want to bring to the people's attention, how do we go from sex to fucking society to this? Well, Starbucks is kind of the foreshadowing of where our society is headed. You got a lot of people pretending like they have this great product. Leadership, big business, tech. And they've brainwashed you to think that they're actually good at what they do. But how many times today did one of your brilliant technology pieces fail? Or when you wanted to show somebody a YouTube video, it failed. Or when you wanted to do something, it failed and you're just used to it, but you're spending so much time fixing these not ready for prime time products that these motherfuckers are putting out. I bet you it took a while to download this for a second. And that's what Starbucks represents. And if we just get back to basics, what you know, whether it be fucking, whether it be going to your friend's house, whether it's building relationships again with your friends, and not being so beholden to the information that's being given to you. Because as you can see, the people in power or at Starbucks don't know what the fuck they're doing. And yet we give them money and we listen to them. Here is our interview with Starbucks aficionado, good friend of the show, Richard. Enjoy. In this news cycle, everybody has an opinion, whether it's about COVID or whatever, whether it's about Trump, whether it's about Biden, whether it's about Mexicans at the border or Haitians in your front room or Afghanistan people taking your property. We don't know. Everybody's got opinions about everybody. Or probably you have strong opinions about myself. We get it every week. Steven at whocaresthepodcast.com. Steven at whocaresthepodcast.com. I get hate mail, but I also get the love too. But a lot of you now, this segment in particular, there's a lot of things I don't get in this world that are phenomenons to the rest of the world. They're uber successful. And for some reason, maybe I don't really get it. And maybe some of you out there do not get it as well. But the majority of people do. And I don't really know. Like, for instance, back in the day, there used to be Krispy Kreme. I never got it. And guess what? It's out of business. So maybe I was right in that situation. But there's some things that have lasted and the test of time. And I'm trying to understand from you, the people, what it is about, not who it is, what it is about these phenomenons that really make people just go crazy. You're crazy over these particular products, whether it be in real life or on the web. So I'm trying to understand this. Instead of me just being a keyboard warrior and attacking you on Twitter or whatever social media platform, I'm trying to use my platform, which is real. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because maybe I could be swayed in my opinion, or maybe I won't, but all of you will. I thought, what a better choice of product or something to discuss that everybody loves than Starbucks, the coffee enjoyment eatery, or what would you call that? The coffee palace, or what? Anyways, well, we have Richard on the phone here live in person. He's an actual Starbucks lover, and he's been going for a long time to Starbucks, I believe, and he's a longtime listener, first-time caller. And here we have him on the line. How you doing, Richard?
Hey, everyone. I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. And I know you've messaged us previously about things, and you seem like just a exceptional dude. And so who better to have you, and then I guess an exceptional product that's to be determined. But you said that you had mentioned in a couple of emails something about Starbucks. So I thought, what a better way to kick off this segment, things that we just really don't get, or I don't really get. If you could give us a little background on your Starbucks love and where you live, and you don't have to be specific because people will probably, stalk you. Where you live, and if we could go back, take it back a little bit and see where it all began. Was it love at first sight?
All right. Yeah, no problem. So I've actually been a Starbucks customer ever since I was in high school. So around 2012, that's when I started actually getting into caffeine.
Wait.
I didn't really know much because...
You didn't get into caffeine before high school?
No, during high school.
You were really into the hard stuff, weren't you?
No, I would take it easy because, of course, caffeine is basically a strong kind of drug. I think of it as a drug because, it keeps you awake and you have to, do something, or else, if you don't, then you start, having these major headaches.
Really?
And getting dehydrated. Yeah, you can actually get dehydrated from caffeine.
That's what they say, but there's been so many things that I've done before that dehydrate me way worse. Caffeine seems to be non-existent now. But I mean, you're in high school. I'm sorry, we're talking about you in high school, of course.
Yeah. So that happened, and I just started been drinking ever since then. I ended up becoming a Starbucks rewards member since 2016. That's when I just decided on to. I think during that time I was actually getting my first job right after my cosmetology school. So ever since then I've been just working my ass off and then treating myself with some coffee in the morning or during the day or even at night. And now I even know the few tricks that people should be doing to get their money's worth for their drink, because there are a few employees who end up putting a bunch of ice onto your drink, and all you're basically sucking on is just ice. And
so you're paying for us. Wow.
Coffee.
Well, you know what? And ladies and gentlemen, we thought we were just going to have our listeners disprove my theory about why it's not good. But you're getting the inside track. Even if you do like Starbucks, Richard here is telling you, make sure you look out for that coffee Nazi. I mean, the ice Nazi, not coffee Nazi. The ice Nazi who decides to throw all kinds of ice in there for your $7 or whatever it is for your Grande Latte Venti, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge tip right there. Especially in the mornings, if you want something cold, definitely just order without ice, because mostly everything is already refrigerated, so you don't need ice at all. All you need is just your actual liquid coffee and milk, which is already refrigerated.
Okay, wait. Timmy, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not understanding because I'm not a Starbucks,
Yeah.
lifer.
So normally when you order an ice drink,
ice drink, right.
You ice into it.
Right.
So I suggest of getting an ice cold brew.
Right.
But without the ice.
Perfect.
So that's going to be a benefit for you guys.
So they keep the ice brew separate. They don't. It's not like it comes out of the machine or anything. They probably brew it in the morning or something, and then put it in the refrigerator. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in the refrigerator, and then they mix it in all together once you order it.
So yeah, that makes sense. So you just get the ice on the side then.
Yeah, definitely get the ice if you truly want it. If it's a very hot day, definitely get the ice separate on a separate cup. That way you can definitely get it more refreshed.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And it doesn't water down your coffee.
No, as long as you drink it during that time.
Oh, right.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
Right.
But if you definitely are so drinker, well then definitely just order a small amount of ice into your drink.
Right. Okay. So if you don't want the hassle of maybe you're on the go and you don't want to do the whole mixology part of it, maybe just ask for a little bit of ice. It's already going to be cold. Don't you worry. Keep your mind fresh. Don't worry about that ice, and then you will get a much better experience, is what you're saying.
Yeah, most definitely.
So before you knew that, you were getting basically, I ice water with a splash of coffee.
Yeah, basically, like one sip and I'm done.
Wow. Oh, that must have pissed you off. Oh my God. And how much would
Literally, but yeah,
how,
I get the point.
how much would an iced coffee be at this point now after COVID?
It basically rounds up around like $5 and up. So
Right.
it just depends on what you get, especially for the seasonal drinks. Which
Right.
right now they currently have the pumpkin, and they will have the hazelnut in a couple of months as well.
Right, that's the one that comes around during Christmas time. I remember a girlfriend of mine or something, like we had to go look at lights or something, and we had to drink the hazelnut as we walked and looked at lights or something. And it was, I mean, I'll tell you what. I don't know. I was leaving somebody's house early in the morning in Torrance. It's about 2 months 2 months ago, and I was leaving their house, and I went in to pay for the gas because I'm like, oh shit, I'm on empty. And I go in there, and these girls couldn't have been, and there was like one was training the other girl, but they both were sweet girls. And they said, would you like to? And and the brew had just started. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and that brew, the smell of it was like fantastic. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do. I don't normally do this, and I did. I drank a coffee, but I had to pull over because the thing was like sloshing around out of the thing. I don't know if I filled it up too high or they did, or I don't remember. No, I must have filled it up too high, or the machine did. I don't know, but it got hot, and so I'm like, whoa, I better pull over to drink this thing. And then I realized it's damn good. I get you. I'm not really mad about the coffee aspect. I'm not mad at Starbucks either, really. I don't lose sleep over it, but I just don't get it. So I understand coffee in the morning.
Was it for everyone for it to be more convenient for everyone, especially during this pandemic, where you're able to order your drink and then get it right through the store without waiting?
Mm-hmm.
But it actually has been a lot troubling during this time. It used to be a lot more convenient and super fast, but now it's more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very tasteful, no matter what kind of drink they do have. But then again, I also do like shopping for coffee at other small business, local stores around here as well.
I am a fan of McDonald's coffee, and I'm a fan of Dunkin' Donuts. Especially because they really got some strong coffee. If I ever were to drink coffee, I don't drink coffee really that much, but I think that I might be. So was it love at first sight though? Like when you first had Starbucks, did you really like the atmosphere? Or did you really like it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like everyone there was welcoming. Everyone still is, and everyone still greets you. And if you shop there very often, and they basically know your name, and then they already know your drink order. So it's pretty nice being able to have that where you're just at that.
Yeah, you know what? Okay.
Like, family or friends or whatever. Yeah.
All right, point one for Richard on there because I never have experienced that. So they actually do know your name at some of these places, and that's why some people go. You think, huh?
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, that's really interesting, Richard. 1 point for Richard. So far, I'm 0 because I never really thought of it like that. I've never gone to a Starbucks continually for them to be able to recognize me or know my name or anything like that. And I guess a lot of people do that. And so they feel comfortable there and they end up making friends with them or that there's still some kind of a small town treatment, I guess, right? That Starbucks kind of offers. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely become a rewards member if you actually do shop there very often because you do get points and those points are very easy to get. So you can, especially, they have like every day they have like these extra double points where you can purchase one drink and then get double the amount of points, and then you end up adding up to like getting a free drink, which is amazing.
Wow. Well, how long does that take though?
Well, it depends on how much you actually do shop. How much someone actually orders there. So if you're actually there with friends, it'll definitely be a benefit if one person just it on one
onto your point thing. Yeah, I got you. So for college kids or things of that nature, a lot of maybe one of them's really into the Starbucks thing, and the other kids just kind of do it sometimes, and they just throw it on there. Yeah, that makes sense. Do those points expire ever?
Yeah, they do. I believe like about 3 months.
Oh my god, that's all.
So
Good.
you definitely have to be shopper, or else they expire and then they're gone. But they try to make it as easy as possible, which is why they added those double points during the week.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. During the week when people actually need it, like when they're going to work and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. Okay. And to somebody that goes to Starbucks a lot, 3 months is an eternity, right? That you would not go there.
Yeah. So if you are definitely a big shopper, then it's definitely a plus for you.
Right. Then 3 months of not going to Starbucks would be like life itself or something. Like, come on, I breathe air.
Like,
right.
So money is gone.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Going away. Yeah. If you don't.
Everybody, what I did during the COVID crises, I did something called Postmates. I think that's nationwide. I'm not really sure, but like DoorDash or Uber Eats. And the idea of it was to get content for a couple of our channels. But I was able to go to Starbucks more than I've ever gone in my whole life, but to be like 5. And I started to notice something, maybe 6. I started to notice a trend. And then I thought of something. I said, the people at Starbucks are out of their mind. But it's not really their fault. It's because Starbucks creates this environment of unorganized chaos. I mean, of organized chaos. The fact that they put a boy with maybe the hoarsest voice possible, or a boy that's not very sure of himself, or a girl that's not very sure of himself, to be the call-out person to maybe, I don't know, 30 people waiting for not only their coffee, but their bagels and $10 Hot Pockets or whatever else they have in that little glass case of theirs, or maybe some cheese and crackers, whatever it is that's overpriced. They don't give both of them to you at the same time. Am I correct in that, Richard?
Well, sometimes it just depends on the person. Sometimes they don't even end up not even having the item with you, especially if you're doing a mobile order. Don't really.
No, what I'm saying is, I would have to go order it, so I would get the whole experience.
Yeah.
The mobile order was not even there yet. Yeah, so I would order it with the credit card that Postmates gave me, and then I would sit and wait like everybody else. My experience with places usually is when you order something, they come out together, not Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so what I saw was, honest to God, this is what I saw. People definitely taking on purpose or on accident, because I did see some some kids come in and just grab like whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I'm not going to, I mean, that's on Starbucks, man. I'm not going to, I don't know Janine. How do I know who did it? Maybe that is Janine, but what it looked like to me is they just ran up to that counter. The girl didn't even hear it because the kid can't even speak. They put in charge of the, saying the names of everybody, right? So he's like, Helen, are you here, Helen? Or his voice is changing or something. I don't know. But then 2 times Helen gets called, because one time in the beginning, the toast just came out of the oven or something, so they got to throw it out there hot. And Helen's like, well, I guess I'll just wait for it. And while Helen's waiting for it, her toast gets stolen, but she keeps her coffee because she doesn't want to get up twice. And then you have all the people, and I want to call it like the people of Starbucks. They're like leaning over this small area. Like they couldn't make the place where they give the coffee, the little cubic or the little corner. Usually it's like a little corner, right? Very tiny. It's a very tiny corner that they use. And they put the coffee out, and you have all these people like leaning forward. The pain on these people's faces, Richard, is something I've never seen before. Because especially if it's crowded, oh my God. I mean, it is a free for all. And they're listening like so intently to their name. And is that mine? Is that my latte? Did you say Jennifer? I thought you said Richard, you know? You know what I mean? Like I thought it is a fascinating.
People are in a rush, so like when people are in a rush, or when you're during the day when it's the busiest, people tend to actually steal other people's cups and other stuff that they ordered.
Right.
So you definitely have to make sure that that you actually get the right product or purchase that you actually made, because it's also not fair for the other person for them to wait
right.
the time.
And I get that, but why is it on you?
It's not on us. Actually, Starbucks is actually very quite what do you call it?
Customer oriented.
You know that happens, so they're actually able to redo your whole purchase, but it does take a lot longer. They're much understandable about people stealing other people's drinks. There we go.
Right, because you look at the guy doing the what is it, the latte machines or whatever those coffee machines are, and he looks so frazzled. He looks like he's I mean, he's the one that works the hardest, I think, or she or whatever, who has ever, excuse me, you know, whatever. He, she, they. They look like they're frazzled, and you don't even want to talk to them. Like, you don't even want to ask them, is that mine? Because they're like, of course that's yours, you know? And I understand their side, you know? So make them the caller too, right? Don't they?
So what I normally do for that, for ever not to happen, is I just give them a foreign name. Give them a foreign name for them for now. That way that person actually knows who you're talking about. Like, shit, a name like something like Lord Voldemort or something.
That's fucking great. I was going to say Akbadinajad, but that's cool. I like Lord Baltimore better. That's the hack right there, right? If you there ain't no other Lord Baltimore there. So that is perfect. That's fun. And it makes it fun then. Yeah. It makes it fun. But you know what?
It definitely makes it fun.
Yeah. I like that. Like that's kind of crazy. Like, let's see the weirdest, and let's see everybody's faces react to that, because you know you got a whole bunch of Jims, Janets, and Ricks, and Trevors, and Heathers. You know, everybody's, you know, guaranteed that somebody there would have that name, but not Lord Baltimore.
Yeah.
With our huge audience, Richard, you're gonna have competition now.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like. If you're like, if you have a favorite movie, come up with that same artist. If that, actor's name is actually unique or different.
So if I say Robin Williams,
yeah, definitely go for it. Let's have that. So you just like stare at the name and just like laugh with it.
Is that really your name, sir? Yes, it's really my name. My name is Robin Williams. Yes. All right. So, well, that's cool. You know what? The one thing though about that, I think that's great that you gave us. You're now are 2-0. Richard is 2-0 on Steven right now, because I think you put me in check. The one thing that I think though about it is that why didn't Starbucks come up with I can't believe that this $1 billion company has had the success that it has with the infrastructure that I witnessed. And I understand they're trying to keep that little, that small coffee shop feel, you know, like that local, you know, back in the 90s kind of, whenever coffee took off, you know, when there'd be bands playing in the front and there'd be, you know, people drinking coffee that wasn't so corporate, you know, that kind of, I understand that that's why they do that whole calling out of the thing and to make it more personal, you know, that's their gimmick or whatever. But I think it's just, it's not, I've never seen something so inefficient be so efficient, because obviously what the fuck do I know? They have $1 billion business and I don't. I just have $1 million business called this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just very different on how like things run, but yeah, you should definitely just know where you're at and figure out something, figure out some new tricks. That's all it takes, especially with life, just like figuring out how you want to figure out your own life and what you want to do. Especially if you want to make it fun and easy, just like making up those names. That's definitely a tip right there for Starbucks.
I fucking love that. You're actually relating, you know, the way you treat Starbucks is the way you should treat your life, with carefree and with a playful attitude. I love it. It's great. Yeah, that's great. I love it. That's really cool, Richard. I'm at 0.3. God damn, Richard kicking my ass. Have you ever done quote unquote work on your laptop in Starbucks?
Well, no, not really. I basically, normally when I do stuff, I normally take my phone. I have seen a few friends of mine doing so, but honestly, for me, it's not, I don't really like doing like my whole work, especially like around other people that I don't have a clue of.
Right?
It's like you never know if that person might end up like stealing your stuff or
absolutely
your laptop, which is like it can be pricey, especially for work, where like it's all your work is done and like what's gonna happen is someone's gonna take it away and then you have to start all over and have to make up an excuse, even though that is an excuse of
correct.
having your laptop.
Yeah, correct. No, 100% correct. I mean, I can't believe a worse place. First of all, how much work can you get done when there's people coming in, good looking or not? Either one would take away I have ADHD like a motherfucker, so I would just, be looking all over. I don't even know if I'd look at my laptop because I'd just be watching I'd be people watching. Yeah. And so do you think that these people, and then not only that, their IP address is open. So any hacker worth, like the most amateur of hackers could just sit outside and pluck, right? I mean, so you have to go in there with like so many VPNs. You might have to have a air card. You might have, whatever the case may be. You have to have things bouncing all over the place for you to even be safe on your computer at all to do work. Why can't you work at home or at the library? Or let me ask you, what do you think it is? What's wrong with these people? Do they want to be seen like they're doing work? Do they find like comfort there? What? And they're by themselves, and they always look like they're doing something. I'm telling you, I did my due diligence. It didn't look like they were doing too much. They definitely have a Bluetooth in their ear. 9 times out of 10, they have a Bluetooth. I don't know what that's for. Yeah. Maybe they make a couple calls, but they stay there all day.
No, I totally get that. I think it's just some people might not even have the right place to actually even study or do their own work or at a comfortable place, or even at home where it's even the busiest, or you might even have family just communicating with you with just distractions over conversations that isn't helpful for your work. And yeah, some people don't have that luxury to even have a quiet place. So
no, I get that, but let's picture. I get that, Richard, but picture the person that I'm talking about right now. Does that person look like they don't have a quiet place at home? Like, they're not like runaways. They're not like young minority kids. Yeah, right? They're usually like some bearded 45-year-old dude or like a white guy. So maybe we should check. I think what we should do, Richard, I think we should put a task force together and start checking these computers, because they might be just using that cam on their computers, up the skirt or something or like zooming in on people's junk or some of that. What do you think? I don't know. I think they're all predators. Everybody out there, if you're working on your laptop at Starbucks, we just deemed you a predator. I think I'm going to give myself a point for that one, Richard. We really didn't have an answer for that one. We got to let those people go. I don't think we should encourage that anymore. I mean, at least a 45-minute window. I mean, how much work? Come on. Unless you can show some hardship. I get you on that, because if they don't have a safe space, a quiet space, or or it's a high school kid or a college person that, the parents are, they're not real supportive or whatever, and they, and they have Wi-Fi there, all more power to them, But I don't know about all these other old people and stuff that are in there doing, like, you ain't a CEO. Relax. Walk me through the steps here of when you go to Starbucks. Tell me your before feeling and your after feeling.
So before, it's definitely nice being able to see like what they have on, what the special things are on the board with like the seasonal drinks that we have. So definitely it's nice seeing those like pictures, especially with the chalkboards decorated nicely and stuff, or even the whole decorations that they do during the season. It's pretty nice being able to see that and seeing that change every year, or even if you're there every day, seeing the same employees and having that smile and then them telling you how are you and how things are going. That's pretty amazing. Then after, once you get the drink, it's like also nice being left out with like a really nice conversation with the employees. And with, of course, with your drink, especially if you know what you're actually ordering. If not, then you might end up having those accidents where like someone else got your drink. Or,
no, but for the most part, you wouldn't go if it wasn't. Yeah, you wouldn't go if it wasn't a positive experience. So like, let's say perfect. You get your pumpkin spice, or you get your hazelnut or whatnot, and then you're feeling afterwards. You're a satisfied dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I'm definitely satisfied. And then since I do have a dog, I do actually have to get him a puppuccino. So like, even he is happy when he gets his own little whipped cream cup. So yeah, it definitely leave me with a smile on my face.
That's
Especially
cool.
seeing my dog being all happy drinking his cappuccino.
That's hilarious. That's cool. I mean, that really puts a. I mean, man, Starbucks. You guys can also Stephen Who Cares the podcast.com, and I will take definitely royalties for this because I'm. Sounds like I came in here trying to shit on your business, and Richard put me in my place here. Is there anything that you would change about Starbucks?
The drive-through. The drive-throughs are always the busiest, no matter where you are.
Right.
Especially if you're like the drive-throughs are just like very hectic, and people tend to cut or just like be very awful people and have road rage. And road rage is definitely the bitchiest thing to ever have.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the people that I used to see inside of Starbucks that were just kind of, they were just waiting on like thin ice, and they were just leaning over the they're like puppy dog waiting for their treat, but the people in line with their cars, those people are actually should be put in jail. That's basically what you're saying?
No, they are just very
unhinged.
Unhinged people who are just like very wrapped in their own world where they think that they're the priority. So like you definitely need to get away from them. Even though you should actually definitely just push them away because they are just like very not so great people.
No, I don't think
that actually still be great.
Yeah, they're not even going for the experience. They're going there for the fucking high. They're like a fucking heroin addict. It's like give me my heroin right now. I'm not even going to talk to my dealer. I just want my goddamn heroin, and I got to get out of here, and I got to shoot it. Right? That's basically what those people are. Whereas you're like a what's that drug where they put it over like a crystal absinthe. Right? It was like the drug of all the thinkers and modern playwrights and all that, where it was a whole experience, and they would get all the thinkers together and they'd pour it over the sugar cube, and then they would take their little hits or whatever, and then they would all come together in a community-based environment and talk about the ways of the world. That's the experience that you get. The people in the drive-thru are pretty much fake-ass Starbucks drinkers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm more go with the flow with a great attitude and enjoy the ride. But if those aren't those people that you don't see around there, then you definitely just need to push them away because they definitely they definitely push people out, and they definitely want really.
So what would you suggest? Should we put a sign at the drive-thru that says, what would it say? I mean, I'm trying to think of what it would say, like, we really don't like you, but we will take your money. You're a piece of garbage. But go ahead and get your latte anyways, or something like that, something sweet,
And type of people that don't want to wear masks.
Oh, right. Oh, yes, that's true, huh? They are those people, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, what's crazy is that, but it's kind of on Starbucks too, because a lot of times they put these Starbucks locations without proper, it's like they want to make the drive-thru very, very tiny to make it look, the overflow is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
It seems like they always, like, I think they do that on purpose. And I'm noticing another company do that too, and I'll get into that. But In-N-Out was the originator of that. They always used to make these really short drive-thrus to make it look like, of course, they're falling off out into the street. And now, because they're so beloved and everything, now they actually do have like long drive-thrus. But in the early days, In-N-Out used to make these really short drive-thrus in their first first whatever batch of locations, so that it would make it look more crowded than it is. So that's interesting, man. But Starbucks still, because the one right here by my house, did you ever go to that one? It's over here in Huntington Beach. No. Okay.
No, I haven't gone to that one yet.
Yeah.
I passed by it, and it's super busy.
Super busy.
With Chick-fil-A and some other restaurant nearby there too.
Yeah, this was directly it's like I could throw a baseball. If I could throw that, yeah, I don't know if I could, but a major league player could throw a baseball and hit the Starbucks by me here, and it goes into, but the problem is it goes into the rest of the mall parking or plaza. It's not a mall, it's a plaza. And so like everybody's just, and it's chaos. I mean, it's chaos almost all hours of the day. And people get so mad that you want to just go through there because, I don't know, we just want to use the regular routes, but you're right. These people are very, very territorial of their slot in their Starbucks line. And they are probably non-vaxxers or non-whatever mask wearers. I'm not going to say non-vaxxers because I haven't got my vaccination yet. But they're probably, those people.
They just bark way too much.
Right. I wouldn't even say that. I don't think it's like a liberal or conservative thing. I think it's all across the board. There's assholes in both those sides, and I think that you get the non-mask people, but then you also get the people that, like you said, they're too busy. They're too busy. They can't go there. So you know what I did is I wanted to test it because I really didn't care about the people's order that I was getting it for in Postmates. So like, what do I care? So I tested it, and so I could see that this was taking forever in the line. So I got out, and then I go inside, and all you had to do was get outside and go experience Starbucks for yourself, inside, and they get it to you right away fairly quickly, when you go inside.
Yeah, definitely. It's better to order actually in store than to be waiting at the drive-thru.
Right.
Because some people don't even know how to drive, and some people don't even have a driver's license, so you need to watch out for those people too.
Oh shit, that's true.
And then they get road rage and then get upset and then it's just bad. Some of them don't even have car insurance, so you definitely need to stay away from those people.
God damn it. God, Starbucks opened up a can of worms when they did that drive-through.
Definitely. It's a lot worse, especially during this time. No one can't afford anything right now.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, you know what's interesting, though? Starbucks still seems to be making record profits, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a growing company.
Let me ask you, too. I know this is one that's for since time began, and it sounds like the question out of the 90s, like Seinfeld or something like that. But why the stupid names like Venti? What is it, the other one? Venti Latte? No, what was it? Venti? Grande.
Venti Trenta.
Trenta, right?
So,
right.
Yeah.
Now, it's a gimmick, right? But at which point do we know you're big already? You don't need a gimmick anymore, Starbucks. You can just say large, medium. Or is that part of the aesthetic?
Oh, no. Yeah, there's no large, small, medium. I suggest just if it's your first timer, just get the Grande. Then move up from Venti, and don't even go even higher from the Venti. Just order a separate cup. Just like I mentioned before, if you want a cold drink, order the iced coffee without the ice, and get a separate cup of ice and just pour it down there.
Well, what do you mean? Or start with the Grande? Like, say I'm ordering a hot coffee, but I don't want.
No matter, even with any other franchise company, they also do have like the large and then like this other bigger plus one. I forgot what it's called, but like they do have like other cups where like we actually noticed that some cups actually are about the same amount. They just slim them down from the bottom and large them up all the way up.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah.
It's
to work out the measurement on how they do their measurement cups, but basically, they basically take out money from what it's worth. So just go Grande or Venti.
I got you. And so really, what's the largest one? Trenta?
It's just Trenta, yeah.
And so that's like that's the supersized me thing. But really, all it is just like they went slim on the bottom and then rose to the top.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're learning so much here on the Who Cares podcast with Richard. Thank you so much for joining us right now. But I have a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up here. Put a bow on it and wrap it up. Yeah. Imagine that was you. Imagine if you had to work there. Would you like to work there? Is basically what I'm asking you.
I tried. I
did?
actually tried applying there. But then I've always noticed ever since I was a customer saying, "Oh, never mind, I don't want to," because like I've been seeing those people. Because like the most complicated customers in the whole world are actually the food industry customers.
Absolutely.
So they actually have different opinions about like so many foods, or they're allergic to things, or they just don't like the way looks, or the texture isn't right, or isn't
Right.
cooked very well, or
Right.
isn't very cold, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So people just themselves are just very complicated, and I would never really work. Actually, well, I've worked at a restaurant before, but honestly, I was a buffet, which made it easier.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't have to take care of any cooking or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people are just like very complicated, and it definitely for those people who actually do work in the food industry, I give them props, because I wouldn't be able to handle that at all. Like, I'm like, oh, complicated order right over here.
Right. Which brings me to my next question. Why not coffee bean and tea leaf, Richard? Why not whatever, some of the other ones out there?
I guess it's just the way people manage things. You would definitely have to push those employees to give them like a smile. You have to push them to give you a good act of being kind and nice and very understandable with what you want to order. Or else, if you don't have those priorities in your head, then the whole business goes down.
No, I understand that, but why did you choose Starbucks, and why not the coffee bean and tea leaf, or maybe what are some of the other ones out there that are similar to Starbucks? They have a pretty good distribution, but they don't have as many as Starbucks. I get that. Is that the reason, do you think? Or have you ever given one of these other places a shot? No pun intended.
I have given other places a shot, especially around here locally. But I guess it's just the way advertised, or the way people just act. Like a certain way of being just kind and saying hello. Just good customer service. Just like no matter where you go, you always want to be like saying, well, at least greeting you with a nice smile, or just being nice and helping you out on what you want to order. Especially for a new person where you don't have no idea what you want to order, they can give you a suggestion.
That's true. That's true. That is true, because, of course, me, when I go in there, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm a venti, so they are pretty nice about that. But do you think I get the feeling that it's a little more fake nicety versus like Chick-fil-A, who is legitimately nice.
Yeah. It's just overall, just basically being kind. Especially my attention, like, you don't really get that, especially during this time either, because, like, right now, what I've been noticing is that people are just, like, very shy, timid, a little bit crazy, weird, or just, like, don't even want to speak to you. Been noticing that during this pandemic. But, yeah, definitely just being able to just be kind, talkative, and helpful, that definitely helps everyone out with making choices, ordering stuff, and just being out there, basically. I don't know what else to say. No, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And that kind of takes us to the last part here. I'm going to wrap it up with a little story here, Richard. I went to a Starbucks. I don't know if it was for Postmates or I don't know. It's kind of a blur, because it seemed like I went to Starbucks a lot during COVID's time or whatnot. But I went there, and there was this, she looked like a model. She was beautiful and so sweet, so genuine nicety. And she was the person that I'm going to order from. And I'm kind of standing there like, because, I don't really know the menu. I'm looking at it like, and all of a sudden she starts writing. I thought she was being a jerk for a second on this chalkboard. And then she writes, "Hi, I'm deaf. If you could please write down your order on this chalkboard for me, and then I will definitely make sure that the order gets to you," or something like that. And number one, it makes you appreciate life, but she looks like she was absolutely gorgeous. That was something that I would never, ever, ever have imagined, that this girl was deaf. It's not like, I don't know what a deaf person looks like. I guess anybody could be deaf. But, you just don't think of things like that, right? This girl is almost intimidatingly gorgeous, which I don't get intimidated, of course, by beauty, but she was pretty close to it. But you could see the genuineness, the happiness, and then the fact when she kind of laid it out, it just took me back, and I go, oh my God, okay. And so then I start talking to her like a dummy. Almost, so you can't hear me, huh? No, I'm just kidding. I did not say that to her. So I said, okay, and
you could just tell the spirit that came from her. And it's funny because I talked to somebody else that lives in the area, and they're like, "Oh, did you talk to that's my friend. She's absolutely in real life too, a wonderful person." She met another deaf person who's equally as good looking, the guy, and which is fascinating. But they're both deaf, so I'm not really sure what that means. I guess beauty, trumps all, I guess. I don't know. But no, what I'm saying is that she seemed to be like just, but I thought, how cool is that, that Starbucks, gave her that opportunity, because you know why? I was in a rush. That's what I remember. I was in a rush that day. And I remember thinking, God, I'm the one that has to get the deaf girl here, huh? I feel like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something like that, And I'm like, I'm looking around, where the camera's at? I mean, because it must have been for Postmates, because I was in a rush.
Yeah,
definitely. But then I had to take a deep breath and just let her do her thing. And I think it was Postmates, because I remember I had to message the person about their order because they didn't have one of the items. And so I had to do that, and then I had to rewrite it on the chalkboard. So it was a whole situation. But you know what? Maybe we should just take a deep breath and allow things to open up first and to act accordingly instead of pushing our drive-through skills on everybody else. I don't know, Richard, what would you say after, it's a pretty interesting story, but what would you say, what would you?
For that story, I would just say that it's actually pretty nice that equality actually is a real thing, and it's still happening, and it's still hard for others to be able to comprehend stuff like that.
Right.
Especially for a disability person, it's definitely hard for them to even have a job, because
but that's the thing though. I don't think that she has a difficulty getting a job because she's so pleasant on the eyes. I mean, like, I'm talking like, and isn't that weird, the dichotomy, right? Of, I'm deaf, but I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, so there definitely is a lot of people who are very, just like overall.
I didn't know deaf people were gorgeous, Richard, is what I'm saying. I didn't know.
That they have a disability, and so like you actually get to know them.
No, I know, I'm just messing around.
I also did mention about communication and kindness, is that you have to basically be able to communicate with the person to figure out if they might even have a disability or not, or if they're maybe like gay or a lesbian or something like that.
Right.
But overall, there are attractive people. Some attractiveness is definitely.
I know, I'm just playing. I know just because they have a disability doesn't mean they can't be attractive. I don't know why though, but people automatically, I guess that's just something in our mind or something like, you get a disability, probably not that good, No, they just like, some defect or something happened at birth or whatever, or something unfortunate, like my eye I lost that last week, and if I couldn't see the left eye, I'd be a half blind, very, very attractive man. So that'd be crazy. But one last thing here, Richard, thank you so much for being on here. And if there's anybody out there that has any kind of contacts within the flight community, I guess you would say, what kind of community would it be?
Yeah. So just like anyone who has experience with any flight attendants. Please help me out and try to contact me. I guess you're able to contact me through my Instagram, which is Fallive.
Wait, how do you spell that?
Yeah, so it's going to be FALLIVE 2.0.
Or do you want to give an email? Do you have an email, or do you want to?
Oh yeah, definitely email. My email is going to be Abiel. So it's going to be A as in apple, B as in Brandon, D as in deer, I as in igloo, E as in elephant, L as in Larry, C as in cat, O as in octopus, N as in nectar, and 95 at gmail.com.
At Gmail. Well, that is a long Gmail.
It's a long spelling, but definitely
Woo!
short.
Yeah. Well, Abdil Khan 95, basically is what it spells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So if anybody's in the flight attendant industry, if there's an opening out there, or if you have any kind of information, Richard wants to be a flight attendant pretty soon. And if you could maybe, even if there's no openings, maybe give him the pros and cons, or give him a little advice, or maybe even better, some job opportunities for him. As you can tell, he's very thoughtful, thorough in what he does. If he's this thorough with coffee, imagine how he'll be with people in the skies. So thank you, Richard. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having this conversation with me. I actually love spending time with you, just communicating with you. It's always awesome hearing your voice and especially hearing all your episodes from this one.
Thank you so much, man. You're cool as shit. Thank you so much, dude.
Am I wrong for thinking out the box from where I stay? Am I wrong for saying that I choose another way? I ain't trying to do what everybody else doing, just cause everybody doing what they all do. If one thing I know, I fall but I grow. I'm walking down this road of mine, this road that I go home. So am I wrong for thinking that we could be something for real? Now am I wrong for trying to reach the things that I can't see? But that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Trying to reach the things that I can't see. Am I tripping for having a vision? My prediction, I'ma be on top of the world. Walking, don't look back. Always do what you decide. Don't let them control your life. That's just how I feel. Oh, fight for yours, so don't let go. Don't let them compare you, no. Don't worry, you're not alone. That's just how we feel. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking that we could be something for real? Oh yeah. Oh. Now am I wrong? Am I wrong for trying to reach the things that I can't see? Oh yeah. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Trying to reach the things that I can't see. If you tell me I'm wrong, I don't wanna be right. If you tell me I'm wrong, I don't wanna be right. If you tell me I'm wrong, I don't wanna be right. If you tell me I'm wrong, I don't wanna be right. Am I wrong for thinking that we could be something for real? Now am I wrong for trying to reach the things that I can't see? But that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Trying to